That's the whole reason you started working for the employer, was you truly believe that the employer could do this for you. Um, Now there is a relief through the T visa, because if an employer did this to you, where they basically induce you by fraud, because most employers are going to know, they are going to know they can't do this, and some of them, they may be naive about the process, but they're still driven by their need for a worker rather than driven by their need to do things right and to learn the process before they make you commit to working for them. So, if you have been through this where you were dragged along, you started working, and then you found out that it was all a lie, it was all a ruse, and there is no work permit that they're going to apply for, that they could even apply for you, um, then you could qualify for a T visa. Now, the T visa says that in order to qualify for the T visa, one of the requirements is that you have to be induced by fraud to do work that you would not want to do, but you felt like you needed to do it. And this is an example, right, where you were told you normally wouldn't do this kind of work, but you were told that you would get the opportunity of a lifetime to get a work permit. Simply get your work permit. All you have to do is this work. So you would not have done it ordinarily had it not been for the promised work permit, but you went ahead, you committed, and you did it. And then you kept on hanging on to this hope of getting the work permit, that hope kept you going, right? And the employer played on that. They said, don't worry, I'm working on it, you just keep doing your thing and I will keep working on it. And then you find out, maybe after a few months, maybe even after a year, maybe even after years, you find out that it was all a ruse and the employer didn't really apply for anything for you. Another thing is the employer they might give you other documents and say this gives you the ability to work. So, for example, if they give you an ITIN number and say, here you go, I got you the ability to work, here's your ITIN number, now you're good. Of course, that's fraud. It's a lie. You don't have a work permits are issued by the immigration service. Your visa, your work permit, any immigration benefits. If you're getting an ITIN number from the IRS, then you know that that has nothing to do with immigration. That's just a tax filing number that you use to file your taxes. So if they're coming to you and they're giving you pieces of paper or telling you they assigned a number to you and now you're able to work, is also going to be a lie here. And it means that you were in this situation because you were the victim of fraud. So with the T visa, once we determine you qualify, and usually when you're brought into the job with this promise, that's the reason you took the job. Then you find out that the job isn't what you thought it was. You really didn't want to work in the job. Maybe you're not being paid. Maybe you have to pay the employer now. Maybe the employer is taking money from you, saying they're using that money is for the green card or for your papers. They're deducting fees, they're underpaying you, and they're overworking you. In addition to that, they may say things like this to you, where they say, oh, you don't want the work permit. If you start to show signs that you're going to leave the job, or you're asking questions about the work permit or the status of your papers, and they start to say, well, you need to stick it out. If you want that work permit or that green card, you need to stick it out. And these are tactics that the employer can use to keep you working in a job that you really don't want to be working in under the conditions that you're working in. And that's what amounts to labor trafficking. If you are in this situation, give me a call and let's talk about your particular facts so that we can determine whether you qualify and get started. This relief is here for you, even if you're here without permission, even if you ended up working without the permission. this relief is for you. And now is the time to apply, because they have made the USCIS policies very clear on who qualifies, and this kind of situation qualifies an individual for a T visa. The T visa, it gives you 4 years to live and work in the United States with a work permit. The work permit is issued as soon as you are approved for the T visa. You have the ability after 3 years to apply for the green card, but keep in mind that because we go ahead, we once we get the T visa, we go ahead and we submit for early adjustment. We submit for an early adjustment letter. And once we get that letter, we're able to help our clients apply earlier than the 3 years for their green card. Now, not only do you qualify, but it's so valuable because it helps your family members to qualify. They don't have to independently show that they've been through the same ordeal as you. They just have to show that they're related to you to qualify. And when I say related, it's certain qualifying individuals who are going to qualify for this. It's going to be the spouse of someone who has been approved for the T visa. It's going to be the child under 21 and unmarried, but not only the spouse or the child, but also the parent. If you're under 21 as a victim of trafficking here, your parent can get to qualify, and your siblings who are under 18 and unmarried can qualify with you. So it spreads across not only from you, but also to other relatives who are in need, even if the relatives are outside of the United States. So if they're outside of the United States, they get a visa. Once you're approved, they get a visa to join you here in the US. So it's very, very valuable. Another thing, benefit here is that I do have clients that they're having medical issues. You know, they're here, they're undocumented. It's very hard for them to get treatment. And this allows my clients to get the valuable treatment they need. They do qualify for Medicaid. They are assigned a case manager that helps them to navigate the system to determine what kinds of benefits can they get to get on their feet and to thrive and move forward in the United States. So it's very rewarding when we do get to the end of the process and we see all that we have done for our clients, and our clients, especially clients who thought it impossible to achieve any of that. Many of them come to me thinking they have no path. And because my consults are so detailed, I sift through not just surface facts, but I sift through the circumstances surrounding their residence here in the United States. What's happening? What are their current circumstances? What are they doing? Where did they work? And this is what reveals to me the facts I need to evaluate whether they qualify for other types of relief, not just your usual, marriage base, you need to get married. One common theme is, even though some people will say, "Oh, I have to get married, that's the only way," and they'll say another attorney said that to them. And even though for some people that is true, that their circumstances have to change, where they maybe their only option could be they get married. The reason I do such detailed consultations is to make sure I'm not missing anything else that could qualify them for relief. And I've been very successful at, solving issues for my clients that they thought they could not resolve. So go ahead, give me a call, schedule a consultation. My calendar is filling up. So go ahead and get in now so we can get started on your relief right now, because my schedule is filling up and I want to make sure that there is space available to talk to you at length, to figure out how we can resolve your matter. So I'm looking forward to speaking with you. Scheduling coordinators are available right now. If you look on the screen, you'll see the number going across the screen. Call that number. They'll be more than happy to assist you. And you can also now, if you don't want to wait, you want to schedule your own consultation, you can do that by clicking on the link in the description of this video on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. The link on the description, there's a nice little button there that says schedule your own consultation. That means that you secure your place on the calendar, because it is going by, it's filling up quickly, and I want to make sure everyone has their space. The same is going to be on this on Instagram. Go to the link in the on the profile page and click on schedule your own consultation. Or if you want to go to the website has different resources to contact us as well. You have the contact form, online chat, and then you have the phone number that's listed there as well. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you and speaking with you soon. Now I'm going to questions. Hi there, Rita. A friend of mine from Ukraine came here at the age of 10. Now in her late 30s, she has removal order. Can she qualify for TPS now that Ukraine isn't safe? Yes. So even with a removal order, TPS is still possible. It is going to be a little more complex, and it may involve going back to the court to be able to get the removal order term reopened, and what is the deportation, is lawful presence that has caused the deportation, or are there other issues involved? Generally speaking, TPS is possible even with a removal order, but it's going to also depend on what facts are involved to determine whether that is possible to get the TPS. Because remember, TPS also has a set of requirements. Not only do you have to be a citizen of Ukraine, but you have to show that you're admissible. And one of those is to show that you haven't committed any crimes or any other past immigration violations. So it's going to be important to sift through those facts to determine what the best approach will be with this removal order. All right, let's see. I will go ahead and save this video. So I am going to post this video afterwards. So just look out for the video. Anytime you have time to review it, it will be there. So why are they taking so long to send SSN and the work permit? So yes, that's one of the frustrating things right now is people need to work. People need that relief while they wait. And it's taking sometimes some people up to a year to get this done. Can you travel with a T visa once approved for a family crisis? So that's a tricky one. I personally don't think while this is a family crisis, and it's really up to my clients to decide whether they want to take the risk. I have to explain to my clients that the risk is great, that if they do go, so you could get advanced parole, go on this T visa to tend to the family crisis. There is a big risk that you may have a problem coming back, or you may have a problem even if you come back, a problem with continuing to show that you're eligible for the T visa, because one of the criteria of the T visa is that you show extreme hardship, that you'll face extreme hardship if you have to go back to your country. And so if you are saying that now after the ordeal, you're saying no, you have to go back to your country for this, they can make an argument here that why is it you really won't experience an extreme hardship, because there you are going back to your country. So it's tricky. There is a possibility to get a travel document, but it's tricky to, there are risks associated with that. So what's the W-3 form? So the W-3 form is the form that they complete upon hiring. So it helps the tax agency determine how much to take from your form, how much to take from your salary in order to, for taxation purposes. So it's usually related to the employer. So, that's not immigration. That's going to be on the employment side, employee tax side. Um, All right, put those questions in the comments. I'm here to answer. So put those questions in the comments. Thanks for the love. Now, in the meantime, while I wait for more questions to come in, go ahead, share my lives, share this live, share the videos, like, subscribe, because this is what gets people coming to watch, and they get informed as well, because the sole purpose of this is to inform you about possible options that you may not have known about, that can help you to get status, to get your work permit, and to get your green card here in the US. So go ahead, share my live so that others can see and know that this information is here. How long they take for the green card interview? So outside of the US, you could be looking at up to 2 years. In the US, it's anywhere from 5 months to a little over a year to get that interview. If they're going to schedule, because when it comes to adjustment of status, they are waiving that for some people. What if you're already working? Can your employer your status adjusted? It's unlikely. So the longer you work for that employer, if they haven't gotten started with your process already and you're working for them, it's highly unlikely they cannot help you with adjustment of status. What they can end up doing is they can tell you that you have to go back to your home country, but no, it depends on how long you've overstayed. You may not be able to come back. So that's why I said starting to work for the employer and then the employer is telling you they can get your status adjusted is messy, because you mess up your papers even more, and a lot of people don't realize that. So work starting when you're starting unauthorized work, it's a bar. Unauthorized work in the US is a bar from adjustment of status in some cases. So especially employment-based cases, though, employment-based green cards, once you have adjustment of status, until you get that work permit, you should not be working for the employer. That's why I say the paperwork starts first. Then you while you're waiting for the paperwork to be processed, say in the green card employment green card process, you get your work permit, and then you can start to work with a work permit while you wait for the green card, but not before, because it messes up everything. What if the embassy asks you to resubmit your DS-260 form? It depends on why. I'm not sure why they would ask you that, but if they ask you to do it, then um, you can do it. But is there something you're concerned about? This is where it's important to get legal advice and representation, because I don't there may be a reason for that, and that may lead to consequences, but I have to understand your case. So can you do a live on student visas and transition to green card? So I can make this very simple for you. Students can't just go from student visa to green card. So this is why you've never heard me do a green card, how to go from student visa to green card. Now, what you will have to qualify like anybody else for the green card. There's no special transition from the student visa to the green card. So if you, an employer, say you're a student and employer has recruited you and now they want to hire you and get your green card, that's one way. If you are a student, you end up falling in love, getting married, and you want to transition to the green card, that's another way. If you have family members, you're here on the student visa, the family members have applied for you, that's a way to transition over to the green card. But it's the same way the student is going to qualify for the green card in the same ways I've been talking about on this live and on my videos. There's no special way for students. Um, my grandmother is sponsoring my mom a green card. Can I also get a green card in that process if you don't age out? So if at the time your grandmother filed for your mom, you were young and um, and you have not aged out, you could be included. But if you're not, if usually they'll include you already. If you're not there or you've aged out, meaning you're now 21 or over or married, then it's unlikely you could qualify through your mom's process. Your mom would have to then turn around, get her green card and sponsor you. So it depends though. It depends on your circumstances, your age, your status. Where are you? Are you on the filings? Have you aged out? What if the embassy asks you to resubmit your DS forms, get legal advice? Because at this point, you have paperwork that's already in. What did you submit, and why is it that they want another form? So it just depends on what's going on in your case. Can you go home while EB3 is in process? Now, if your EB3 is in process and you're applying for adjustment of status, meaning you're applying to stay in the US while the process is going through adjustment of status, make sure you have to have a travel document. But if you don't have a travel document and you leave the country with an adjustment of status process in going forward, they'll say you abandoned your adjustment of status application and they will deny the adjustment of status. Now, if you're here, you have an EB3. Now, EB3, for those of you who don't know, it's an employment-based green card process. The employer sponsors the individual to get their green card. The person could be in the US or outside of the US. It just depends on the timing of everything, like the labor certification that has to be done and the wage determination process that has to be done. It depends on the timing of that. But as long as the timing is right and your immigration status is right and you haven't started working without the permit, then you can possibly file adjustment of status. If you can't though, and you have not accrued unlawful presence, then you might have to go back to your country and wait for the process there, where you have to go to the embassy. So it all depends. But if you're going to go home, you have to make sure you have the right paperwork and that you're not going to cause yourself to be barred. If you already overstayed, you want to make sure that you're not personally going to face immigration consequences like the 3-year bar or the 10-year bar. Morning. So tried calling your number. That's and it's not. Is there another way? So that number is working, but we are very busy, and so staff should be answering. But that number is working. So there is no other number. Go ahead, call that number, or you can do it through the website. Go on the contact form or schedule your own consultation on the profile page. Because if you schedule your own consultation, you don't have to go through the number. And when you call the number, the staff, in order to speak with me, you have to get on my calendar. So you have to schedule it anyway. So you can bypass all of the phones if that's what you need to do by just going ahead and scheduling your own consultation. If you are calling the number and you're not getting through, you should have gotten a text letting you know that we will call you right back. So it just means that phone lines are busy right now and we're going to get right back to you. So if you call that number, you'll probably get a text, and as long as you get the text, you know that we'll be calling you back. Hi there, Bobrisky. Thanks so much. What if I didn't submit my medical records when I sent in my documents? Is it a surety of not doing an interview for adjustment of status? So if you don't send in your medical, it's not, they are recommending right now that you send your medical in because they are trying to, once they see that they can waive it, they want to just be able to process it very quickly. But if they need your medical, they're going to write you and they're going to tell you they're waiving the interview and they need your medical, send it to this address. So they'll tell you what to do if you haven't submitted your medical yet. If you finish school and you're still living in the US out of status, can mom, which is a citizen, file for me as an out of status adult child? If you're 21 and over, it's highly unlikely that you're going to do adjustment of status. Your mom can always file for you, but you're going to have a special process that you're going to have to go through if you're 21 or older. If you're under 21, you have even if you're out of status, you can fix the situation and move forward with applying here. But this is where I said it's very important to schedule the consultation because we can get more into your facts and determine what the best course of action is moving forward. All right, that's gonna be okay. I have one more here. Hi there. I'm asking a question. If my child have a visa and it's time for her visa to renew and the mother don't have a visa, can I send in my daughter's? Follow the instructions of the embassy. The embassy is going to decide whether you can just send in the passport or whether they're going to require an interview. But to renew, you're going to have to apply anyway. So you're going to have to apply first to renew it, and then they will let you know what you need to do. Long story short, I was adopted in the US, but came to Jamaica to pick up my papers, got denied. But the lady that was filing for me died. But she left a house for me, but someone is in charge of it. I'm so sorry that you're going through all of that. That is a complex situation. And I have a feeling that when you went down to get your paperwork, maybe the bar, the 10-year bar was applied, or the adoption did not qualify you for the immigration benefit. So it's that's a complex situation, and because even if you're adopted in the US, you have to be a certain age to be able to be adopted, and if you don't get meet those requirements, you don't qualify for the green card. So if you want to figure out what to do, yes, call, schedule a consultation. We can sift through those facts. If immigration approve your work permit and give you that letter of approval, uh, so I would say within a week or two, you should get that work permit after you get that approval notice. So it should come very shortly. Kim Kyla, you're welcome. How to renew green card while I'm in USA. I came to the United States through my husband. I'm here in the United States. I worked also for the embassy. So the I-90. So if you're simply renewing, there are two types that you have to be looking for. If you have the 2-year and you're going to the 10-year, that's going to be a different process. It's called removing the conditions on your green card. But if you had a 10-year green card already and now you just want to renew it, it's going to be the I-90 form that you're going to use. I grew up in the US for 20 years and never been to Mexico. What can I do? So give us a call, and I don't know if it's a situation where you've already been removed to Mexico, but this is where the consultation is going to be very important. If you're facing removal proceedings, we can also look at what your options could be. But we need to go through your details. Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much. So with the best thing to do is call to schedule a consultation. I don't give legal advice through DMs. So I give legal advice in consultations. And thanks so much, Bobrisky. I appreciate that. So please, guys, remember to like, share, comment, follow. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Never have been removed or anything. All right. So just give us a call if you've been here for 20 years and you're trying to figure out your options going forward. Let's talk about your facts and then figure out if we can find a solution for you. All right, thanks everyone. I'll be back tomorrow again with another topic. And then you can come with your questions. Your questions help me to answer good questions and also probably questions that other people have. So if you have that question, it means that other people have it. So it helps me to provide valuable information to others. So I appreciate all your questions and your time today. And we will be back tomorrow so I can talk about a topic and then you can come with your questions as well. Okay, I have one more that I can't resist. A question here I can't resist because I think it's one of those things that everybody's gonna get when you're getting a green card. And it's what if you got an email stating you're documentarily qualified? What does that mean? So the national visa, once your petition gets approved, you're outside of the US, and they're now working to get it to the embassy. The NVC manages the correspondence with the petitioner and the applicants before sending it to the embassy. So the NVC sends out, when they have received everything they need, they will say that your application is documentarily qualified. That means that the next step is to schedule the interview. Might be a wait though. That's a frustrating part right now, is that the wait time for the interview is through the roof, over a year right now to wait for interviews. But it means they don't need anything further from you. You just need to sit tight and wait for the interview. So that's when you get that email from the National Visa Center saying you're documentarily qualified. That's what it means. All right. I wish I could get to more questions, but I have to head out. I will talk to you tomorrow, though. I'll save up those questions for tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye bye.